Russia and Ukraine exchanged deadly strikes over the weekend, both sides targeting major cities, energy facilities and warehouses. And this is video from this morning, and it shows the moment that a drone struck a distribution hub belonging to the Russian online retailer Wildberries in the Vladimir region, just east of Moscow. The warehouse is one of the company's largest logistics centres and plays a key role in the flow of goods between Moscow and other parts of Russia. Since mid-July, Ukraine has carried out a series of attacks on Wildberries logistics hubs, describing them as legitimate targets because they provide the Russian military with drone components, navigation equipment and other gear. Earlier, Kyiv targeted oil refineries, causing fuel shortages across parts of the country, while Russia has spent years striking Ukrainian infrastructure. These recent attacks suggest a shift in Ukrainian tactics as Kyiv seeks to increase pressure on Russia's economy and bring the costs of the war home to ordinary Russians. It's an interesting development, so let's speak now to Lisa Vogt from BBC News Russia, who joins us. Lisa, good to have you with us. I think it's first important to explain, if you could, just the importance of Wildberries as a company to people in Russia.
Lucy, Wildberries is often compared to Amazon, and it's Russia's largest online retailer. I think it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that almost every Russian has used Wildberries at least once or twice in their life, regardless of their income, background, or where they live. It's essentially one of the pillars connecting this vast country, because you will find a Wildberries pickup point in even the most remote villages or towns across Russia, which gives people living there a sense of connection, a sense of security. And of course, almost every small vendor, small business owner in Russia has to use this platform to sell goods. And that's why this recent wave of strikes on Wildberries warehouses across Russia, and of course the millions of goods that burned up as a result, are matters that affect all Russians on both practical and I think emotional level too.
So we're seeing this change in tactics from Ukraine, really wanting to bring the war home to ordinary Russians. How else are people in Russia feeling about the conflict at the moment when they start to see their lives affected in this way, Lisa?
I think you're right. I think it's clear that this entire campaign of strikes, including those against on oil refineries that you also mentioned, is indeed aimed at shifting Russian public opinion. And the goal is to ensure that people, and not just people living near the Ukrainian border, understand the reality of this war. And judging by the reaction on social media, it has certainly made an impact because generally for all Russians, what's happening right now is it's a sign of a new chapter in war, an era in which it has finally come back home. And my feed on Instagram this morning was filled with videos of teary entrepreneurs saying that all their stock had gone up in flames. And what's interesting, what I thought was interesting, is judging by people's reaction, regardless of whether they blame Ukraine for that or Russian authorities, of course, much more cautiously, many view the situation with a sense of near fatalism as something beyond their control, something they want to end, something they didn't want to happen, that's something that we'll have to adjust to.
And Lisa, do people blame President Putin in a big way? I mean, his ratings seem to be dropping for the first time in many years in quite a significant way, and there are elections coming up.
Yeah, and the Kremlin, I think, is approaching these elections in an environment which is far different from the one it would have liked, because in Russia, the authorities want every election to be an expression of support for Vladimir Putin's course. And yes, as you mentioned, his approval ratings have been falling rapidly in recent weeks, a trend recorded even by state-run pollsters. They still show that more than 2/3 of Russians support Vladimir Putin, but the trend is not in his favors. And with these long-range strikes, with strikes on Wildberries warehouses, with growing amount of economic pressure, with fuel shortages and issues of Russia's own doing, such as internet shutdowns, it is harder to just maintain this image of national support of the invasion of Ukraine. I think the big question here, the overreaching question here, is whether these signs of public discontent will influence Vladimir Putin's decision to continue in the war, and his record shows that he rarely takes public opinion into account when making such decisions.
Really interesting and great to talk to you. Lisa, thank you so much.